Oh my God. I have to start out by saying this is freaking weird. Like every day. I mean, I've been complaining about it for how long? I mean, it doesn't get light. There's no light. I went in and took a bath this morning. And while I'm sitting in there, it was like early, and light starts coming in. I'm just like, what? How could there be light coming in? Surely it's not this late. So I get up and I come out and it's totally light. And I look at the clock and it wasn't even 7. I'm like, what in the fuck? But it feels like, I mean, there's still the orange colors in the sky, so there's still poison. But they, I don't know, did they lift the shroud? I don't know what's going on, but it's fucking weird. So, anyways, I've just got a lot of weird stuff on my mind. This morning I put on this, I've been changing channels, I can't find anything that seems interesting. I have been watching some British crime shows. I'm on kind of a roll on the British crime shows. And, it is a lot less of the wokeness in it, I think there's less programming, or their programming is just different and not as obvious or something. But I had turned on this, I don't know, haunting at Cooligan Park or something like that. And it was a paranormal show where they're at a place and there's a lot of activity and stuff. And they're talking to this one woman and she's talking about all of the stuff that's going on. And there's this huge old tree outside and there's all these marks where it was obviously they did a lot of hangings and stuff. So, and that's the thing, wherever you live, like you don't know what went on before you were there, or actually what's going on presently in that space, because there is no time and space. So we are in spaces, but we share spaces because we don't take up the space like we think. I mean, we're literally vibration and color in movement. We're moving like that. I think that's why they tell us the earth is moving, because we're actually moving. But it's not, the earth isn't moving like they say. Everything that they tell us about three-dimensional life is all skewed through them. It's not, they create this three-dimensional life, but all three-dimensional life is not the same. But they each have their own lessons. But so this woman, she was talking about these little pioneer kids. I've had the little, not those same ones, but some little pioneer girl that kept showing up in one of my houses. That house was super, super haunted. And then it was a new neighborhood. And I kept thinking, it's got to be the area, because you don't know what stuff went on or is going on or whatever in the area, and how our realities kind of run into each other. Because that is more what it is. When you are more open, or sometimes it's by surprise, then you will see something from another reality. I've seen so many things where, like, I think they might call them glitches in the Matrix or something, if you look at that kind of stuff, where like somebody was driving. I've seen quite a few, but like they're driving and all of a sudden they're in a different time period. The cars look different. The people are dressed different. There's been so many weird things. And I think that is because those realities are happening at the same time. And there's little portals. There's like entryways into, and that's how aliens travel around. Because there is entryways where there is less, because everything is magnetic. So there's like places where it's like looser or something. You can move through realities into other realities. And I think that's going to be a part of what we're going to be learning as we move into this more, like highly dynamic, sophisticated, galactic kind of lives. Where, I mean, it is literally, we're going to go from the Flintstones to the Jetsons. Like, I would say it would be, I bet you the window of time that we go from, because I would consider this the dark ages, what they have us in. They kind of have us trapped in a time repression, because they are, using technology for them, like interfering with the weather, interfering with our actual reality. So I would say when the things start switching, when we have the switchback where the control and the power goes back to the people, which I'm like, man, do they have control over something? Like, Have they lifted a shroud? I don't know. I mean, it's going along with the Queen stuff, which I saw yesterday, somebody coming out trying to say, oh, this isn't true. The Queen's not sick. I'm like, I don't know. I don't think she's alive. But I think I don't know, Prince Philip, he could have even been, they could have both been executed, you know. They may not have died naturally at all, or they may have let him die naturally. Maybe they have to take a little boozed up little thing so that they can, you know, it's kind of like, hey, take a little of your own medicine here. You know, I don't know, but I just know things are not what they tell us they are. They're very different than what they tell us. And, but in this thing, this woman, this is also like the Dark Ages kind of thing. It's like our attitude towards the supernatural. It's very Dark Ages. It's very, oh, that's so scary, you know, it could hurt me. And that's what this woman was like, oh, some ghosts can come and hurt you. Like they just lose their minds or something. No, you don't lose your mind when you die. You don't, your mind isn't even something that your mind is a receptor. It is, so you're receiving information. It receives information and then it puts it out through your body. It is not, you know, your thinking device. It is a processor. So, you know, these people who think like, oh, you die and then, you know, you don't have your brain anymore or something. You just turn crazy monster and you want to just kill everything. That is, you know, that's fantasy thinking. That's the same kind of thinking as like, there's a guy in the clouds, you know, overseeing us all and, you know, putting his wrath on some and giving blessings to others. You know, it makes no sense. It's how you perceive the world. And it's magical thinking to think like that. And but when you really get down to logic and the basics, and you know, and I just feel like I understand about the because I came out of my body that time that I didn't know I was out of my body when it happened, but I knew I was my same self. And it was weird because I even knew what I looked like, and I can't remember if I looked in the mirror, but everything seemed exactly the same until I looked over and saw my body, except for the gray, like the atmosphere looked gray and smoky, like I've said before. But everything else, you know, there was nothing. I didn't feel like, you know, if I forgot something, no, there was nothing like that. I'm just walking to the bathroom. And then when I turn around and I see myself laying there, it was automatically just sucked in like a vacuum. And, but that is the thing, is our soul is, you know, it's attached to the avatar. And so people get so consumed with the avatar that they think that the avatar is real and everything that's magical is magical thinking, you know, oh, there's a guy over us and, oh, you can't see things, they're out to hurt you, because she's like, no, they could kill you or something. It's like, that is not what... There's beings around us all over the place. There's different realities happening all over the place. A reality is your experience. You're projecting an experience for your soul to experience. That it is dreams. That's all everything in life is different dreams. It's where you focus your energy. And so, you know, essentially you're like having this crossover with somebody else's dream or something, and then you think their dream can hurt you. But it isn't like that. They're not there to hurt you. They're just having an experience. And even if somebody has left this avatar and they no longer have access to it, their spirit can continue, just like my spirit came out to go to the bathroom. It will just continue in its mindless kind of focus on what it's doing. It doesn't necessarily need its avatar. And some of them, you know, like those people who just like get stuck and relive a terrifying moment or something over and over and over. Like there's something with like ghost things or something. and there can be like an imprint of a tragic event, and then that energy will just keep going over and over and over, reliving it, reliving it, reliving it. And it's kind of like the consciousness is glitched in, and it is confused. But at some point, it will break free from that. It's not going to live eternity being just in a glitch. It's all about consciousness realizing itself, because that is when you get your control. That is when you gain mastery. As long as you think everything outside of you is in control and you have no control, then you're giving up your control. You're surrendering your control to whatever happens is going to happen, which is different than living by fate and destiny. When you live by fate and destiny, it isn't just like whatever's going to happen. It's not like that. It is, you stop fighting what's happening. You allow your life to happen. You focus on yourself, but you stop fighting it, trying to control it. It's like I was talking about with my daughter. She's doing all these little things like, oh, should I put a parenthesis? Should I put a period? Oh, like that's going to make a difference if you get the job. That's not going to make a fucking difference if you get the job. What's going to make a difference if you get the job is if it's meant to be. If it's meant to be, and it could be you are in a lower vibration, so you would get that job because you're going to learn things from that job. It could be, your boss is a total dick and you really wanted that job, and what will you do to keep that job? I mean, that is something that all over the place. I mean, that is everywhere right now. Like I just saw, which I keep seeing him, and it's driving me crazy, because I used to really, really like him. And now he just kind of like turns my stomach, and I see him kind of desperate. Same with like The Rock. But Ryan Reynolds, I used to really like him. I thought he was funny, and I liked his movies. I mean, I wasn't like, oh, Ryan Reynolds movie, I gotta go see that. I wasn't like that or something. But I find it kind of odd that his wife was out speaking about a lot of bad stuff, the crimes and stuff against the kids. And then you don't hear her talking about it now. Like, I haven't heard anything about her talking about it. It's nonstop, him getting all these parts. But that's what they do. They just shut it down. Oh, we'll give you this great part, but you got to shut your damn wife up. She's got to shut up. She can't talk about this stuff. Oh, well, why not? Well, that's going to upset people. People don't need to think about this stuff. They are so manipulative in how that they think they control us. And they're just super, super manipulative. But I don't know, it just kind of really bothers me. Because it's like, what have you sold out? Did you sell out? So I'll do whatever so I can, get good parts or whatever. Because of course they're going to give the awards and the parts to the people who play the game. That's their award for playing the game. That's why there's certain people who got award after award after award. And we're all thinking, oh, wow, they must be really good. Well, there's lots of good people. They just don't get the parts and the awards because they aren't, selling blood, whatever their weird shit is that they're doing to participate in this weird existence that's going on with these elitist people that are just so warped. But, it's our own thinking of the supernatural being something that is supernatural, like it's odd or something. But no, it's real. It is our real life. The supernatural is our real existence. This is where you get yourself trapped. Your consciousness gets trapped in this way of thinking and surrendering. And so you start thinking like, oh, if there's something I can't see, it's probably going to hurt me. No, why would you think that? Why would you think that because there's other people on other planets and other realities out around us that would automatically be there to harm you? That is in the programming. That's to keep us small and limited, to keep our perspective in a more controlled existence. So we're not thinking outside the box. That's why they have to keep us in the box. They have to give us very limited ways to see things. So that is why when you're breaking free, it's so expansive. Your mind just starts going out and seeing the possibilities. You open yourself up to what's really out there, because you're not just focused on what they tell you. Because what they tell you is just to control and confine you. But when you open yourself, but you got to want to open yourself up like a flower. Open yourself up because you want to feel the sun on all your petals. You don't want to just feel it on the top of your head. You want to feel everything. You want to understand what life is all about. And it just opens you up to so much more and so much more expansive thinking. Because like, yeah, I hear somebody like that lady talking and I just feel like, that she just sounds scared and ignorant, but it's because she's misled. She doesn't understand. And, spirit, like I've talked about a bunch of times, and spirits aren't there to hurt you or scare you. Even the ones that are haunting, I said, they're doing it out of being funny. That's a sense of humor. The ones that where you feel that scary thing, like I said, I've lived around a lot of ghosts, or where I was aware of the ghosts. Everybody's around ghosts all the time, but where I was aware of them. And there was some that, that one in particular who did not like us. I don't know. To me, he seemed like a really creepy kind of older man, and he was just creepy. Like I could just feel his energy. I could sense him. I could smell it. Like he was just yuck. And but he couldn't really hurt us. He could make you feel his hatefulness towards you. And I've seen where people have gotten scratches and stuff like that. But see, they're feeding that energy. They're giving that energy power by being scared of it, which draws in more. It empowers that energy. So you have an energy in your house. Say it's somebody who was living there and they died, but they didn't want to leave. And they just are still living their life, not really paying any attention to you. They're just still living their life. They may not even be in the house all the time because their consciousness could be going to other places, but they're still drawn back to their house. So they're just going about their business. They don't, and they may see you as like also kind of like a shade in their existence and be kind of creeped out. Like, what the hell is that? Is there a ghost? Like, I think those shows where it shows that, like Others, and I think one called Haunted or something. I've seen a few where it all of a sudden you realize that the person who thinks they're being haunted is actually the haunter. I'm getting a call. I'll be right back.